This driver's championship. Oh god, the mic distance. This driver's championship cannot be any closer. Zoom and Ori are tied for the driver's championship. They've been clearly the two significantly best drivers through this series, but after a few inconsistent races from both of them, one where Zoom had the better pit strat than Ori, and one where Ori just drove way better than Zoom, not getting into a crash, then this is gonna be some interesting racing, because either Zoom or Ori will have to break away for the drivers' championship, and meanwhile, we've got Monaco just around the corner and the Indianapolis 500 for double points just around the corner. So what we're looking at is a rivalry that could go down to the very ugly end between Ori and Zoom for winning Formula Brash. Ori being just okay at Brash Grand National, Zoom obviously being Zoom being the powerhouse that he is in there, although he hasn't shown up very well in a few races, and Zoom, well, Zoom. What more can you say about Zoom? He's clearly one of the best drivers of our time to represent the Brash Grand National, and to represent the Brash Sports Motor Series and take part in Formula Brash. So we're gonna have some really interesting racing here. So here's Zoom to cross the line, and we'll take a tour around the circuit del Jarama. It's a very long straight after crossing the line, but then it's gonna be a sharp right hairpin into New Villari, going into the Fangino. That's one turn down, but you still got a lot more turns to go. This is a circuit after all. Going into Varzi and then taking the sharp turn just around Le Mans. Not very much sure why this turn is called Le Mans, but it's probably a love letter to all the various circuits out there. Hairpin leads it to an even sharper hairpin, gradually increasing speed. Basically a straight where you have to keep it down. Turn into another kink, Bugatti, and then Bugatti's gonna lead you to an even sharper Bugatti, just at the end over there. Finally, you work your way back up past the HSBC sign, around another hairpin. This one being the Monza hairpin. Once you're done with that, it's just one more turn to go. Get through the tunnel turn and then back on the stretch for the finish line, and that will be a lap of the Circuito del Jarama in Madrid, Spain. Interesting practice we're looking at the Spanish Grand Prix. Zoom and Ori are leading the way in time. Zoom being the only one to crack a sub 131. But despite all the show-offs that you could make during practice, how's this qualifying gonna go? We'll have to see. We'll have to see how everyone's gonna stand after qualifying.
To your cars.
Hold up, Rob Boss ain't supposed to be in this race. God damn it, Rob, why? Oh, now Zoom's not in this. What the fuck is this doing? Fucking hell, Rob, come on. There we go. Absence of the 21 car. Let's get to qualifying now. And okay, so Lucy is gonna take the pole here. Oh, dang. Alright, so holy shit, Lucy. That is okay. Okay, I wasn't expecting to see you at the front of this race. Wow, okay, so you've got Lucy at the top, taking the pole, trying to intrude a little bit between the rivalry that's going on between Zoom and Ori. Lucy is sitting at 9th place, but Pole had her first podium in the last race. Wants to get another podium down. Dang, Lucy. Wow, okay, so Lucy just stealing the pole, trying to steal the spotlight as well in the Spanish Grand Prix. Zoom and Ori are just right behind them. The question is who is going to prevail at the end. It doesn't matter who crosses the... Doesn't matter how fast you are through the race. All that matters is who's going to cross that line first. Let's hear those famous words.
Drivers, to your cars. Drivers, to your... Gentlemen, start your engines.
Settle in, relax, take a deep breath. It's a long, hard race. Gotta pace yourself.
Let's get to know your drivers for this race. In the front row, running on the pole side, this time it's gonna be on the left side, is Lucy. Right beside Lucy is Zoom. Going down the line from here, you're gonna have Ori and Nat to line up in your second row. Nat having quite a few off races, but Nat starting in P4, and Nat just wants a good one. Going back down the line, Maria and Kaz will be your third row. That will round out your top 6. Going down from here, Sanic and Frogtron in row number 4. Akko and Capra in row 5. That will be your top 10. Just outside of that top 10, D-Dog and Briganti will be working in the 6th row. Going behind them, you've got Dane, and then you also got Narad working just outside of that top 10. Looking a bit more backwards, you're gonna have Lavi and the Ronnie running alongside FBN. Diavolo having yet another off day. Diavolo's car has been on and off. If Zoom and Ori have managed to show us anything, is that having a consistent car will be able to put you at the top. Diavolo just kind of throwing it away now. Back the next row to Sky and Dio. Then you got Shadow, Lara, Jack Blaze, Droid, Emmer, Hannah, and then you got PPP running at the absolute back. I need to see those qualifying numbers. How am I starting all the way back there? Jeez, okay, so wow, I'm starting at the absolute back. Maybe I'm just trying to work up that safety rating again. God damn it, iRacing, why? Oh man. Focus our eyes back onto Lucy. Coming up just to, I believe this is about halfway of the pace lap now. Ori, Zoom, tie. What more can I say? It's freaking tied. Whoever's got end in a higher position will most likely become our new driver's leader for Formula Brash. 306 is their deadlock number. Meanwhile, Mario Sweetie is in 3rd place with 221 points. If Mario wins this race by chance, Mario is still gonna have a lot more work to do to catch up to Zoom and Ori. And same goes for all these other drivers. If you count up the number of podium appearances that Zoom and Ori have had combined, they combined for about 10 podium appearances. If you count up the number of podium appearances for Mario Sweetie, Akko, Kaz, Angel of Chaos, Diavolo, Nat, that is way more drivers to combine together. Pace cars going off, and we're gonna be racing right away. Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys! After that pair of hairpins, Lucy and Zoom got really close there, but they're still running side by side. Zoom trying to get the jump ahead. Zoom does get the jump ahead. Lucy's got to fall back a little bit now. Nat's into 3rd, and now Nat wants to take a spot from Lucy. Nat tried to take out 2nd place. Now they're gonna line up for a bit. You got Zoom, Lucy, Nat, Ori. Ori's gonna fall back to 4th place after that start. Zoom is now gonna be your leader, and we are gonna be ready for this train being driven by Zoom. Bunch of the cars are getting single file now. Narad gets ahead of Dane. Everyone's just kind of filing. Everyone is just kind of filing together now. Coming back to the front of the race now. Underneath the lonely HSBC sign, Nat is getting a bit close to Lucy. Nat trying to put Lucy towards the back. going into the tunnel turn now to complete one lap of this thing, and Zoom will come out in front, taking the pole away from Lucy and trying to make the strongest case for himself to be the champion of Formula Brash. This has been quite the start. Zoom just jumping ahead of Lucy, also Nat getting ahead of Ori. They're going side by side for quite a while there, but now they'll be running the single file line as they just try to keep the car straight through the tracks. So let's take this moment right now to get a quick tour of everyone around the field as they filed in together. Zoom is running out in front. Right behind you've got Lucy, Nat, Ori, Kaz. That's your top 5, top 10. Maria, Frogtron, Sanic, Akko, and Capra. That's your top 10. Top 15 is looking like a D-Dog. Briganti, Nerad, Dane, and I believe that was Lavi there. Top 20 are getting into the range of the Ronnie. FBN making a fairly good showing to start off this race. Diavolo still run towards the back, Sky and Dio. Then you've got the guys towards the back who really don't matter too much, including Shadow, who was at one point seeming like the best the dark horse of the series, but Shadow's just going to keep on driving it ahead out here. No, not driving it ahead, just driving in the back. Driving towards that back in there. Complete with 2 laps now. And the gap between Zoom and Lucy has not changed at all. Might see quite a lot of this just filing together. Some really impressive stuff from Zoom here. Let's take a moment, bring the focus over to Ori. Ori is working just outside of the top 4. If Ori doesn't really pump the gas anymore, then well, Ori's gonna be without a podium showing, and although it might not bring her down dramatically, it's still just not a good place to be in, especially if you're fighting for the top spot in Formula Brash. Then, well, Ori and the team were just expecting a little bit better. Instead, they have to find some way to get around the Russian and the gay boy. No, Lucy, I respect you too much. Get around the Lucy. Yeah, that works. Some more nobles as these cars are coming up around Monza down the tunnel turn. It doesn't really look like anyone has really pushed it in the wrong way, but yeah, these cars are basically just running the line now. This is a real good track from the looks of it to get warmed up for Monaco. I believe that you can only really go 3 wide here, and even if you want to go 3 wide, these turns are just so tight that like any effort to try to do side-by-side racing will just be in the dumper. You want to keep that speed, and you want to keep that speed up. Keep up with the rest of the pace. If you try to run a slightly different line, then well, you're gonna find yourself in some trouble. Not really anyone too surprising running around in this top 10, except for maybe Nat. Nat's just kind of been off with these last few. With some of these last races. I don't exactly know when the pit window's supposed to happen, but hey, it's gonna come as a surprise. Let's take him. This guy's just coming around Monza. I believe. No, I think this is the Le Mans turn. Dane's running a little bit close to the back of Nerad now. He's trying to get into a different line, into the hairpin. Nerad's gonna shut that door there. Just keep him very close at bay. Dane's still running very close to Nerad. This one is just for trying to edge away into the top 10. this spot in particular is for 13th. Dane is running super close to Nerad right now. It's a gap of 15 seconds between the leader and the guy in the back, which is probably still me. No, it's not me anymore. It is the number 33 car. Well, at least I gained a spot. Right, and Dane still running it fairly close together. Your fastest lap so far, and whoa, it's just been Zoom, 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 Zoom trying to write his name all over this race. Now Dane's losing a little bit of that leverage as Narat just makes his way out and forward. We're 5 laps into this. This has probably been the quickest effort to a train that we have seen in quite a while. Choo-choo. Zoom is up in that lead. Lucy hasn't really been letting off the pressure of Zoom at all. You've got Nat and Ori who just haven't been able to catch Lucy, but Lucy is still hanging around like a thread on Zoom. 5 laps in, and Lucy is still keeping that gap underneath the second mark. Coming up to Madrid now. Zoom's gonna come by, and that is just a little bit more than a second of a gap between them now. I think Lucy's starting to lose a little bit of that speed because Nat I think is catching up to Lucy. Just trying to get that race more spaced out now. Let's go look at the back, see what they're up to these days. Emmer just running in. Well, that is the back. That's basically as back as you can get. Lots of single file racing just going on in this course. Not a whole lot to really rile up the people. Let's go on board with Nat. Nat's just been trying to watch for Lucy making a mistake at some point, but Lucy has just been trying to keep it fairly close to Kaz. Not to Kaz, to Zoom, but Lucy's not. Lucy is trying to make a serious case for himself to be up there with Ori and Zoom for the lead of Formula Brash. Lucy is running off with 1 podium appearance, and Lucy wants to have another podium appearance to keep that momentum going. Nat, meanwhile, is just behind, trying to take it down a notch, and then going back even further, you've got Ori, and man, like Ori is just trying to find some way to kick the car into turbo, get back up into that podium, but so far all these guys have been running it fairly complacent. Not a whole lot really separates between them. And yeah, this has just turned into probably the greatest freight train out there. Probably the fastest freight train out there on the curviest track. Now look at your fastest laps. Not a whole lot is changing on that front. Coming up on lap 7 now. Just looking around here. Yeah, there's a shot of the pace car. And there's a shot of the hill that we're never gonna be able to get over. Or that hill. Jesus, these cameras are actually terrible. Zoom is far ahead of everyone. Else. Lucy has just been losing it. Zoom has been running the fastest car clearly, all by himself. And this is gonna be an easy bunch of points for Zoom. He's not gonna get points for that pole award, but he might potentially. He might get points for having the fastest lap. Also gonna get points for leading a lap. He's also gonna get some points for leading the most laps of this race. This might be a clear 53 in the bag for Zoom. Lucy and Nat will also be right around him in that podium. Ori. Man, so just imagine this. You're in the chase for probably one of the more prestigious prizes in motorsports, and you're just Ori running it behind. You're tied with Zoom, but Zoom is gonna get ahead. Meanwhile, two other people are gonna be up there. Up there at the podium, celebrating, popping champagne open on themselves, getting their trophies and such. And meanwhile, you just have to watch from the stands. And no way they're gonna let Ori up there, because probably Zoom won't let them. Rivalry is a rivalry, and it's gonna get down and dirty. Coming up on the halfway point on this race, and you betcha that some of these guys are gonna have to start thinking about their pit strategies. Everyone around here is just still running it straight. The cars are really spreading themselves out now. At one point it was 15-second spread, now it's an 18-second spread. Zoom is coming down the hill, just zooming his way down that hill. Starting up lap 9 now. Hey, I've got nothing else to talk about. You know what happens when there's nothing else to talk about? Yeah, that's right, all 0 people who are watching. Let's crank that shit up. Something I just want to mention here, Zoom has blown leads quite a few times in the past, actually. I believe Zoom only has 2 wins, and a main factor for Zoom only having 2 wins in this series has been his pit stops. His pit stops have been his pit teams has been probably some of the worst. Ori will come into the pits as we'll start our first round. Bunch of the guys are gonna be staying up, but meanwhile, here comes your people just entering, finding their way to the pits. Many people. Meanwhile, quite a few people are staying out, including Zoom. Zoom is still gotta hold on to those points and just keep that fastest lap going. Here they come onto pit road. Will they have a pretty good time, or will it be a time worth of hell? Getting those tires replaced now. Ori just has to work on the right side. Has to work on that right side. Doesn't look like anyone is even daring to try a 2-tire strategy, considering with all these turns, your tires are really gonna get worn out. Ori will be the first to exit, and then right behind will be Maria, Frogtron, Akko, and Sanic are running close together. I believe Sanic will have that. Narad and Gotch going close together, getting out of the pits. Gotch spins around. Gonna get left behind on the track by Narad. Narad gave him a little tap. That's gonna put Gotch down, and it's just gonna be continued heartbreak for Gotch, who hasn't been able to get a good finish in quite a while. And if this brings out the caution flag, then Zoom will have a way easier time thinking about the pits. Actually, not really, because Zoom is gonna lose time on that pit. Zoom is gonna lose time on that pit road. Red flag is out. This is gonna be a caution. Has Zoom blown another race lead? A bunch of these guys were into the pits, but Zoom and a bunch of others just kept it out, and now Zoom has a potential for blowing another race. Ori led the way for the people for that first group of people on pit lane. Oh dang! So because of that scraping by Narad, which looks like to have taken Gotch down there, then. Woo, okay, this is gonna bring on some very, very interesting strats here. Guys are coming up past the HSBC sign, trying to finish this lap before the very obligatory pace lap. Zoom Zoom and Lucy are already pacing behind the pace car. A bunch of guys are already finishing their lap. So among the people who stayed out this one, Zoom, Lucy, Nat, Kaz, Lero, it's only like 5 people who stayed out, and I get the feeling that those 5 people are gonna go to the back. And this has potential to be another blown race for Zoom, and another blown race for Lucy, and for Nat, and for Kaz. Jeez, okay. Take a moment now. Let's back it up. Let's back it up a bit. Get a look at that. Get a look at that crash. Get a look at that crash that warranted the. That seemed to warrant the. That seemed to warrant the caution flag coming out. Yeah, of course these guys bang in the pits. They're kind of dumb like that. So yeah, it was already some really close rubbing between Red and Gauge. Take a look at this here. So yes, Gauge pulls out of his pits at the same time the rat comes by. That is already asking for some pit trouble right here. So that's gonna rile up. That seems like it's gonna rile up Gauge a bit, but Gauge and the rat are just kind of running it closer together. Oh, it looks like Sanic went off as well. So Briganti's not the only one to have his race screwed over. Sanic is also gonna have a screwed up race. When these guys go double file out of pit lane, they are asking for trouble out there, man. Get a look at this from the view of Akko's cam. These guys were so close to not finishing the race, but it's very lucky that they're still running in this race. They should consider how the car's completely screwed up. Man, it's just like, see you later, fam. And then you got Narat coming in here, just dumping off Gauge like he's silly like this. So those two rollouts are what apparently warranted the caution, and all eyes are. And for this caution lap, all eyes are going to have to be on Zoom. Will he take? He has to take this time to pit, but where is he gonna end up? Fast forward this a bit so we could get up to the part where he's pitting and potentially gonna throw away this game. Here they come into pit lane. Just those 5 people coming into the pits. It's already bad enough for Zoom that he's gonna have to toss away that lead and toss it away to Ori of all people. Ori was running in that top 4, just struggling to really push the car upwards, but but now Ori's looking to take that lead up ahead. So Lucy hits Zoom going into the pits. Lucy clips a bit with that front wing of Zoom. There was clearly debris that flew off there. Now Zoom's pit time might take even longer thanks to Lucy trying to screw over the race. Zoom and Nat are gonna come off. Lucy will come off as well. Lucy trying to find a way to file, but Lucy just falls back behind as everyone else just dominates over Lucy. Oh, is Lucy at the pits? Lucy got schooled on pit lane. Now we're up to the single file bit, and where is Zoom right now? Zoom and all those other people who stayed out, they've become the new back. Man, pit lane does some very interesting stuff to your racing. I'll just tell you that much. Wow, okay, so Ori made quite the wise decision of staying. Made quite the wise decision of staying. No, not staying. Pitting during those green flag laps, because when you're into those caution laps, then you really don't have a chance to really get back there. So let's go over your top 5 real briefly. Ori, Mario, Frogtron, Akko, Capra, Narad, it's Lavi, Dane, Diavol's back up there, and the Ronnie's also back up there. Sanic and Briganti are running around just a little bit back, so their races haven't been heavily affected, especially not as affected as Zoom. Zoom has thrown away another race lead. Ori, his main rival, will be the one running right in front there. just behind of the pace car. Just behind of the pace car. This train is all set up to go for 5 more laps, I believe. 13, 14, 15, 16. Yes, 5 more laps. View of everyone around here. Narad, who managed, including Narad, who somehow managed to work a way into the top 10. Is he really in that top 10 now? I don't see his number. He's in, according to this thing, he's in 11th place, but we know that he is way higher than that, especially after those pits. Those very, very dramatic pits. So now, we're coming through the last turns. The pace car lights have come off, and now we're just waiting for them to get back to the racing. Five laps to go in this very dramatic Spanish Grand Prix. Pit drama, some pit drama, and now we're back online. Sky is making some moves on that restart. Let's get a look in on Sky, see what exactly he's doing. He's falling back now. Jesus, Sky. What? So we started this off single file, but it looks like a lot of these guys want to take it too wide towards the back. These are all people just directly behind the top 10. Top 10, trying to take it side by side, get the races going up. Briganti's gonna move up some spots, and Briganti's looking to make a comeback. Just get back up there where he feels like he rightfully belongs. Screw this camera. We'll go into the helicopter cam. Meanwhile, back there, oh, there's been a crash. Back there, there's been a pile up. Hannah's gonna go into the gravel trap. That's gonna warrant another caution lap. I saw a bunch of cars just go sideways there. We couldn't even get a clean lap in. A lot of these guys trying to go aggressive, going side by side on those backsides there. Now they're all running it fairly wisely, single file. Something happened on that restart. The pace car is out once again. Ori might have this race in her grasp now, unless if we end up having a one-lap shootout. There was clearly some shit that happened somewhere on that turn there. Oriole's just kind of running the back there. Now, we gotta see what happened to Oreo. We gotta see, what did you do this time? So lots of things warranting a caution, including Zoom look to have gone into some trouble. Zoom taking the freaking race 3 wide. 3 wide. 3 wide, pushing Emmer into the grass, and then Zoom's gonna get into the grass as well. Gotta get into that grass as well. So that didn't seem to be the only problem on this restart. Let's see what Emmer was doing. Take a look at from the cockpit cam of Emmer. He's getting pushed to the side by Zoom. Zoom, how mad must Zoom be that he's not willing to drive the car straight around like he usually does? But that's not the only fatality we have to look at. We also gotta look at what happened to Oreo's race. These guys really want to take a 3-1 in the restart for some reason. Oh, wow. A very boring, an admittedly very boring first half, but this second half really made some sparks around in this race. Like, holy shit. Wow. Clearly that restart did some very messy things, and those messy things are quite resonating now. Yeah, there's Hannah getting a little bit loose there. I think it was loose or just out of control, or was it super aggressive driving? Who's gonna know? But either way, Hanazuki's basically gonna dive bomb into Jack Blaze on that turn. And that will just derail Hanazuki, clipping off some of that wing, taking Hanazuki just into that grass. But I don't believe that's the end here. I think Hanazuki's up for a little bit more, as Hanazuki's gonna wheel back onto the track, get into Jack Blaze, derailing Jack Blaze out of there. Now Jack Blaze, out of control, will wheel his car back onto the track as well. And Jack Blaze will try to get Hanazuki once more time. Lots of debris flying off there as PPP just try to get past all of those. I mean, and so will the backpack. Backpack trying to get out of there. Holy wow. Okay, so. Jeez, this is some real risky racing going on lap 13. The very unlucky number proving to be unlucky for some of these drivers once again. Let's get a view from Jack Blaze. Jack Blaze's camera. Jack Blaze with that turn, and now Jack Blaze is gonna come back in and wham into Hanazuki. Let's also look at it from Hanazuki's view. Taking Jack Blaze out, but Hanazuki takes himself out. Now gets Jack Blaze to the grass, and now Hanazuki into the gravel, and it is just like the Newton's cradle out here. That great physics machine. Really great stuff that happened out here. On to lap 15. They are still pacing this race all around, and I believe that I have the feeling that this race might actually end on the caution. We are either gonna have a caution or we're gonna have a have a few lap shootout. Maria is on your podium. Frogtron is also on that podium. There's a lot of drivers that you should not count out here. Ori's real weakness here has been Ori's real weakness in this series has been the restarts. That's how Ori hasn't gotten more podium show up. So while Zoom's weakness is the pits, which is shown quite clearly here, Ori's weakness is the restarts. Can Ori get a good restart coming off, or will we see someone completely different become the winner of the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuito del Jarama in Madrid? It's really dramatic out here. Let's get a quick tour of your top 5. Let's see how quickly I can do this time. Ori, Maria, Frogtron, Akko, Capra, that's your top 5. Top 10, Narad, Lavi, Diavolo, Dane, and the Ronnie. That's your top 10. Top 15, you're gonna have Sanic, FBN, Sky, D-Dog, and God, I can't even see the cars now. Briganti, that's your top 15. Top 20, Shadow, Droid, Dio, PPP, Net. Your top 50. That's your top 20, and then you got cars in the back. Zoom went from the front to the back in this race. He's still gonna get some points for leading the most laps, certainly, but Zoom, we're gonna have to talk about some things today. Oh my man. So, are we gonna get another crappy restart, or will these guys actually try and run it straight? Let's focus the car on Mario. I think Mario will have the most interesting drive to restart this. Get into our helicopter camera, providing very good shots from up above as that pace car's gonna turn in. We will have 2 laps left in the Spanish Grand Prix. What an interesting race, and what an interesting precursor to Monaco. If some pit drama happens on Monaco as well, then we'll have quite a treat on our hands, even though it's like the tightest circuit out there. I cannot wait for Monaco, and I bet you guys can't wait for Indy. The pace car is gonna come off as that pit lane just appears, and we will be restarting once again. Maria trying to go to the side of Ori, trying to work around Ori. What a start! Ori's going up ahead. Meanwhile, you're going to have Akko and Mario trying to fight side by side. Akko having to pass Frogtron on that restart. Now he's going to have to try to get past Mario. Narad has worked his way up into the top 5 after that good pass from Capra. Akko is gonna supplement a way back into 2nd place. Nice. Man, but Mario's still a little bit behind there. Go a little bit backwards in the race, see what's going on here. Looks like Looks like these guys actually kept it clean this time, running a quite single file now. Yes, we're basically into single file now. Ooh, man, but that was a real dramatic restart that could have said so many things. Shadow getting a little bit off line, and now Shadow's just gonna give some more space to Briganti. So, gotta wait for these standings to update before we can really say anything about the current rankings. In terms of fastest lap, Zoom still has the fastest lap, but could Ori have put on a faster one here? Now that we are free of the cautions. Through the tunnel turn, last credit one to go, and Ori is running by herself. That will not be a fastest lap, but do you really need a fastest lap here when you're running so far ahead of second place? There's your race as it stands. Everyone here getting very single file now, and Ori is just running it by himself. Ori's running it by herself, and Ori has been has had some very interesting stuff to work around with. Wow, so here's the Ori who was in 4th place, almost didn't get to seem like she would get to celebrate on the podium with her rival Zoom. Now Zoom will be nowhere close to celebrating on that podium when Ori's leading up the way, and we're looking at a completely different podium picture than what we were looking at before. It was gonna be Zoom, it was gonna be Nat, and I believe it was gonna be Lucy. But now, it's gonna be Ori, it's gonna be Akko, and it's gonna be and if Rockron hasn't made a pass, it's gonna be Maria. Basically the villains of the Brash Sports Motor Series were gonna be a podium at one point. But if the Spanish Grand Prix is trying to teach us anything here, goodness will prevail as Ori gets through the tunnel turn, and Ori will win the Spanish Grand Prix. Just behind her, Akko and Maria. Ori is gonna have quite the time to celebrate, getting so lucky with when that caution came out. Pit lane drama has worked once again in Ori's favor and has worked once again in the disfavor of Zoom. Some real good racing that we saw here today. How ironic, actually. I said that Zoom pretty much had 53 points in the bag. Zoom will still be getting some bonus points, but certainly not 50 anymore. That's gonna be Ori taking home the 50. Good job, Ori. Not a whole lot more to say here, except it's not even tied anymore. That driver's championship isn't even tied anymore. Ori didn't even give Zoom a chance again to lead. Actually, Zoom had a really good chance, but Zoom just blew it with some terrible pit strats. To all of us here from Brash Sports, thank you for watching. All 0 of you, thank you for that, and good night. What a race. What a good race, and no one saw it.
Congratulations! 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 Quack, quack. Congratulations! 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 Congratulations!